Started. Once again, I wish to welcome you all to this virtual conference. Um, Today is another special edition, and we will be engaging with one of our leaders in this renewed hope administration, who is Prince Lateef Olasunkanmi Fagbemi, SAN, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. My co-host for today, Honorable Jacob Ogushe, Haji Kiabelu Abubakar, Udeme Ukwe, Shombayewu, and Tosin Olayinka, who will be assisting me as usual in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. As usual, this conference is streaming live across social media and especially on Ben TV, courtesy of the CEO of the first Nigerian African digital TV channel, led by Alastair Sherody. Many thanks for your support always. And looking through the conference, I can see, as usual, we have new faces as well as old faces. Thank you all for always joining us. We appreciate your support. And towards the end of the program, I will be acknowledging the presence of some of the stakeholders and our leaders across the globe. Thank you all so very much. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Global, I welcome you all to today's session. Today, as usual, as I said earlier, we'll be having in our midst one of the top VVIPs of this administration of President Tinubu. The VVIP is Prince Lateef Olasunkanmi Fagbemi, SAN. He is the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. Topic for today is tackling corruption through legal and institutional frameworks, evaluating the effectiveness of Nigeria's anti-corruption laws and institutions like the EFCC and ICPC. As you all know by now, this platform was set up as a veritable vehicle for interaction between Nigerians across the globe and our leaders in Nigeria. These are the people that hold apron strings of our country and are steering the ship of our fatherland with a view to enlightening our people regarding the inner workings of the Renewed Hope administration. And today, as always, we will be exploring another segment of President Tinubu's vision and policies in an interactive interview with one of the big shots within the government who will be dissecting President Tinubu's administration, shedding light on its significant achievements and forward-looking plans as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda upon which the president campaigned, and we all gave him the mandate as well as the golden keys to Aso Villa on the 25th of February 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have just been duly informed that our special guest is still stuck in a meeting at the presidency, but he's assured us he will be joining us as soon as he's done with the meeting. But in the meantime, the conference continues. We will still be discussing the issue, the topic for today, whilst we are waiting for him. And to kickstart the conference, please permit me to read out the profile of our special guest, who is Prince Lateef Olasunkanmi Fagbemi, SAN. Prince Lateef Olasunkanmi Fagbemi, SAN, is a distinguished Nigerian lawyer and politician, currently serving as the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. He was born on July 16, 1959, in Ijagbo, Oyo local government area of Kwara State of Nigeria. Fagbemi has established himself as a prominent figure in the country's legal and political spheres. His journey in law began with a Bachelor's of Law degree LLB from the University of Jos in 1984, followed by his call to the Nigerian Bar in 1985. Fagbemi furthered his legal education by acquiring a Master's Law degree LLM from Obafemi Awolowo University in 1987. His career reached a significant milestone in 1998 when he was conferred with the prestigious title of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, recognizing his contributions and expertise in law. Throughout his career, he has been involved in numerous high-profile cases and has significantly contributed to the Nigerian legal system. President Bola Tinubu appointed Honorable Fagbemi as the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation on August 21st, 2023, in a significant political appointment. This role places him at the forefront of Nigeria's legal and judicial affairs, where he oversees the administration of justice and provides legal advice to the government. His appointment reflects his extensive experience and the trust placed in him to uphold justice and the rule of law in the country. Prince Lateef Fagbemi's expertise and professionalism has left a lasting impact on Nigeria's legal landscape. As Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, he continues to play a key role in shaping legal policies and ensuring the effective administration of justice in Nigeria. His dedication to the legal profession and his contributions to the field of law underscore his significant role in Nigeria's governance and legal system. That, in a nutshell, is the profile of our special guest for today. But like I said earlier on, he's still stuck in a meeting at the moment, but he's assured us he will be joining us as soon as he's free from the meeting. But like I said, the show must go on. We have to start so that we can beat our 2 hours scheduled time. So as soon as he joins us, we will be yielding the floor for him. But in the meantime, the topic for today, like I said, centers around corruption in the country and the effective ways this administration has been fighting the corruption. And as far as I know, corruption is not new to us Nigerians, and I think there's hardly any Nigerian that does not have an one thing or the other to say an opinion on it. How endemic it has become, and how successive government has been doing everything possible to fight it to a standstill. So it is for this reason that I said we decided that we have to continue with this program whilst we wait for our special guest, because we know that when he comes, he will give us the legal perspective that has to do with this government, what they are doing about it, and how far they've come in combating it. But in the meantime, I will be calling on Alhaji Adams, Dauda Adams, to give us an overview of what are his perception regarding corruption in Nigeria. Is it as endemic as people perceive it to be? If it is our government, the current one especially, are they doing enough to combat it? I think I'm just going to yield the floor to him for him to give us his overview. Then we'll go to the floor to seek for Nigeria's opinion on this, because everything we do today will be jotted down and will be passed on to our special guest as soon as he joins. So my co-host please unmute Alhaji Dauda Adams. Alhaji Dauda Adams, you have the floor now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, and good day, wherever you are. And my name is Alhaji Adams. I reside in the UK. Hail from Lagos State, Alimosho local government area. So my background is in IT engineering and cyber securities. This topic today of the corruption is not new. And corruption has been with us ever since human started gathering together to form, live in a village. And then as we develop our government and authorities throughout the life, throughout the empires as well, the Roman Empire, Egyptian Empire, and many others empires. There's the rules and laws, but there has been corruption. There's corruption within the administrations that govern all the states or whatever they find themselves. But what does human do to try and control this? We cannot have a zero. We should not aim for zero corruption. It's impossible. Even in the Western government, I reside in UK. Take, for example, an expenses scandal in the UK Parliament. When either a minister or an MP use an expenses process and procedure to buy a doghouse for his pond. Yeah. So, but there's a process in place to make sure that there's a control. And if you are, caught, you have a public shame. Yeah. And that is the essence. We need to be transparent. And corruption is the fight of all of us because we all receive services from government. Yeah. We drive on the road. We take public transport on the road. That is provided by the government. If the government and the contractor provide a shoddy contract that can impact our life, yeah, the shoddy road that cause accident or whatever, yeah, or we know in many areas of Nigeria, and people who are living in area like rural areas and all these things, when they were doing the road constructions, contractors take a shortcut to not spend much to divert the waters, and we know the impact on the residents, that flooding, yeah, Surulere, Itere, and all these things, yeah. So this contract has been awarded with full intention for good services, but one way or the other, shoddy services was provided, and the impact is felt by the citizens of that area, of that communities. So we all have a stake in this. We're all stakeholder in it. So there's no need to say, oh, no, it doesn't concern me. It concerns you. It concerns you. Yeah. We all hail the home, the internals ministry for speedies in getting our passport in Nigeria. That place was full of dodgy backhands that you have to go through someone in order to be able to get your passport and all this. This administration, under the leadership of that particular ministers, has transformed it. I mean, I've got my passport, my renewed passport. I've never have it so good before. I got it within 2 weeks. And the reason why I got it within 2 weeks was there's, the address was damaged on the envelope that I bought, that they need to send it back to me. So I have to go back to the Nigerian house, check again, and they say, go and check your depot. And it's in my depot. Yeah, so it's a week turnaround. Before, so those are the kind of services we are talking about. So there is been, this, all the previous administration have been, trying to tackle corruption because it is good for the country. It is very, very good for the country indeed, because the perception, yeah, of outside world matters. Yeah, when they come to the country, they know they can, go about their business. Yeah, they can tender for contracts and win contracts. Yeah, comparatively. I mean, I'm an engineer. I tender for contract in EU when UK was still in EU. I don't know anybody in EU, yeah, but it's so transparency that I tender for contracts as a businessman in UK. So all Nigerians businesses should be able to tender for a contract in the central government, in the state government, in the local government, knowing that they don't have to give a bribe or go through someone. Yeah, because I mean, when I get my passport in 1977, first passport, I have to go through someone. I don't even feel that for myself. Yeah. So know how bad it is then. So now it is much better. But we should not sit on our laurel. Yeah. We should all continue, to ensure that all our leaders, elected leaders or appointed leaders, try as much as possible to fight corruption wherever it is. Yeah. But the only thing I observe very vividly now is when we talk about the political corruptions, where are they coming from? We have a party structure system, yeah, in any democracy. Each party should try and, screen their people to ensure that when they get into the position of power, there's lesser corruption. So there must be more screening, more ideology based that this party does not stand for any corruption. And if you are coming here for corruption, there's no place for you here. Get out. Because you will damage us, you will damage our reputation. Yeah, you will damage the country. I mean, as the president said, education is a key to unlock the potential of Nigeria. Many of us in here, we are educated. Yeah, I benefit from Awolowo's, so I'm a baby boomer. Yeah, so we all know that education is very, very important. And those who are going to deliver this education at the primary level through the local government have to, because, I mean, we've been having problems with our census now for a long time. How do you allocate? How do you allocate grants and money for primary health care and education? You go through the census. Yeah. So if you want to create a park, if you want to create amenities for children to play, you must know in that local environment what is the population, what is the population of age between 2 and 5, and between 6 and 12, and between 12 and teenagers. So you can provide services for them within their community. But if the corruption is not tackled, all these services will not be provided, and the people will be on the lash. I mean, I listened, to many people quoting statistics that African have the youngest, the youngest population in the world. So we are sitting on the, powder keg. If we don't do something about it and say stop this corruption, provide amenities for children to play football, provide amenities for them to do basketball, provide a swimming pool for them, they can learn, they can compete in sport. Nigeria is good in sport. Many of our children that go to the United States, good in basketball. Yeah, if they have those amenities, they can, we can, be champion. I mean, look how much Saudi Arabia pumping to sport now. Why are they pumping money to sport? Did the Saudi Arabia drive, have a drivers in Formula One? Did they have a boxers? Did they have international footballers? No, but they want to encourage the youth coming up, and they pump billions of their, oil revenue into those areas in order to motivate children that come in and say, look, we can do better in these areas. Yeah. So we can do better in this area. So Nigerians, we should all take this by our hand and say corruption is our business and we must fight it. And when we don't turn the side cheek and say no, it doesn't concern me now. As soon as I give 50,000 K and get my passport, yeah, I'm gone. Please try as much as possible to either educate the people and say, look, this is not good for the country and it's not good for the community. Yeah. So that is only the message I have. But this government have tried. Even previous government have tried. Yeah. But what we need now is a good sanction. It's a good sanction. Yeah. To ensure that the corruption does not pay. Because when we look at our law, we have eminent lawyers in this house here. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Many people have been saying that we need a special court dealing with the corruption, so it can be speedier, because our current legal systems is not well equipped to deliver justice in time. So those are the things that I would challenge all the lawyers in the house, all the big brain of the lawyer in the house. Yeah, home and abroad, please put your thinking caps on. Get writing, put things in the paper, solutions, controls. As from engineering background, I mean, we do what we call the controls. When we identify vulnerabilities in IT systems, so we say these are the vulnerability, and we look at the risks. We do the risk analysis, and those risk analysis can be done as well for politician. How can the politician be induced, or all those risks can be, we are well educated Nigerian. We are doing fine when we go outside the country. We are doing fine. We can beat anybody. But when we go back, let's put that thinking caps on and do the same and provide all these, processes and procedures to help our leaders, to combat this menace of corruption. It's not going to be a zero, zero corruptions. Although in IT now we have what we call the zero tolerant, but it's not 100%. It's 99%. Yeah. So I would like many lawyers in this house to take it upon themselves now to look at our existing law, and look at the control they can put in place, look at the experiences they have, and see how they can do this. I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, I can make some contribution in the areas I know. Yeah. So thank you very much. That's my submission for today.
Thank you very much, sir. You are always on point whenever we call upon you. And from what I can deduce from what you were saying is that in as much as corruption is endemic in the country, it takes the effort of every one of us to be able to combat it. Because I don't think we should leave it just for the law enforcement agents alone. Because I think everybody, if you ask me, everybody is almost this corruption things permeates all facets of the society. The Alakara who shortchanging a little boy who comes to buy akara there, that is corruption. The civil servant who's meant to pass a file from one table to the other, and but wants some kind of what they call a gunje, we don't say don't spoil Lagos. That's another form. There are so many forms of corruption that's endemic in our country. But like you said, we all have a duty to ensure that we do what we can to combat it. One of the ways that I think that we can be helping is for us to be providing information to the relevant authorities regarding whoever it is that we see within our society or within our locality that is doing what they are not supposed to be doing. Because if you that are supposed to report some of these things are not doing anything, you too are contributing to the corruption that we're talking about. So I think that is where we all need to focus all our attention on. Anybody who wants to contribute to this is free to put their hands up because it's like I said, our topic for today is tackling corruption through legal and institutional frameworks, evaluating the effectiveness of Nigeria's anti-corruption laws and institutions like the EFCC and ICPC, especially these institutions that we have. Do we think they are doing enough? If not, what advice can we give to them for them to ensure that this is it like Aladi said, there's no way we can have a zero corruption free country because it's not possible anywhere in the world. But at least we can reduce it drastically to the barest minimum. So much so that even though this week we had the Transparency International rating Nigeria higher now in their index. But that has to do with the fact that this government has done a lot to pay off our indebtedness to IMF and the rest of them. This is part of the things that we need to do to ensure that the country gets on a better footing, so that our rating outside the world, the perception of people about our country will get better. Even those who are berating the country every now and then, they too to me, I see that as another form of corruption, because most of the time what they say it's not exactly what is going on in the country. So that's another thing that we should be looking at. So again, like I said, I've got a couple of hands up now, and I'll be calling you one after the other. But like I said, I don't want us to deviate too much from the discussion we are having today. We're talking about corruption, and the theme for today is tackling corruption through legal and institutional frameworks. That is evaluating the effectiveness of Nigeria's anti-corruption laws and institutions like the EFCC and ICPC. Are they doing enough? I want your opinion on it. I think we've got Jalil. Jalil's hand up. Mr. Jalil, I think it's a Mister. Then whilst Mr. Tunde should be ready to follow. So can the co-host please unmute Jalil? Jalil, you have the floor now, and you've got 2 minutes to make your submissions. 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes, you are right. It's Mr. Jalil.
Okay. Can we have your video on, please?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah.
If you can just get on with it. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to put it on, but it's not showing.
Okay.
Quickly, Alhaji Adam, thanks you very much. So in terms of legal perspective to fighting corruption, in my own view, I think our framework will have done justice to that. My own point of view is the challenges about it, and which I believe corruption being multifaceted. I think it starts from the mindset.
Yeah.
I think our mindset plays a very, very critical role in fighting corruption. We tend to probably underestimate how our attitude towards corruption is even impacting negatively in fighting that same corruption.
Yeah.
So I have even attended a couple of events organized by Nigerian community here in UK. And honestly speaking, from our attitude and our approach, it's like we need to do a lot in terms of our attitude. A case in point, even when it comes to serving food, you find some people already on the queue, waiting for their turn. And in between that, you still find some people still cutting corners, taking food to some maybe so-called people on the higher table. So I think if we tend to look at all those little, no matter how minute we might think it could be, it tells a lot. Yeah. And interestingly, we find ourselves outside of the country. We organize events. We even invite foreigner, local, new people. Maybe the residents of the new other countries. We invite them to our occasions, and they pick all these little things. So if we are not organized from our own mindset, I think we just need to do a lot from our own mindset. That's why I like the message during the Buhari administration when they say change starts from me.
Yes.
I think we just have to look at our attitude as people generally. And honestly speaking, I believe if we do a lot on this, coupled with what the NOA is currently doing, fighting corruption will be even easier from the legal or perspective, or whatever framework we are putting. We have a very, the AFCC is doing fantastic, very, very well, but they need the help of the individual citizens as well on our mindset. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Jalil, for your contribution. I think you hit the nail on the head when you spoke about our mindset, because I have always argued that is where the problem lies. The moment an average Nigerian has a change of mindset, because that's, for me, is the root cause of this corruption that we're talking about. I've had instances where people who should know, right, are trying to do something that shouldn't be. And when certain people try to correct them to say, look, what you're trying to do is against the Constitution, they probably didn't see it as corruption. Is it because impunity is part of the cause of what we're talking about here now? But because they feel they are in the position of authority and they can do whatever they like, even if it's against the constitution of the country, they will do it anyway. and they went ahead and did it. You see, these are the kind of things that we're talking about. A change of mindset will be the starting point for every single one of us. So perhaps if we can, if that can be drummed into our mindset, that look, for us to have any semblance of victory over this corruption index thing that we're talking about, it has to start from you, from each individual, to ensure that you do the right thing at the right time. And when sometimes people are prone to errors, but when you are making errors and people are pointing out to you that this thing you are doing is an error, I think an introspection is needed for that person to be able to check and see whether whoever is trying to correct them is saying the right thing or not. So thank you so very much for that, because you just said it. As soon as you said that, a lot of things start coming into my head. Thank you so very much for that, and bless you. And I've got Honorable Tunde on the line at the moment. So Honorable Tunde, can we please unmute Honorable Tunde? Honorable Tunde, you have 2 minutes. The institutions that we have, the EFCC and the ICPC, do you see them doing enough to curb this corruption? And do you see an average Nigerian being able to change, to have a change of mindset regarding, because whether we like it or not, people like you and me, we encourage some of this corruption with the way they pander to some of these the people that do this corruption, these corrupt practices. So I just thought I should put that in again. Maybe somebody will be able to pick up on it. Thank you so very much, Honorable Tunde. You have the floor now.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tunde. I'm not a politician, but the topic is quite appropriate. But I have a question. I mean, I had questions, so I was thinking that raising up my hand was just to signify my intention of asking questions from the Honorable Minister regarding the activities of the EFCC and the ICPC. That was why I raised my hand.
But we'll take note of it. You can say ask the question, we'll take note of it and pass it on. As soon as it comes in, then it will be part of the first question that he's going to deal with. Yes.
Okay. Regarding what you said, I could just try and answer the question in this way. Now, the EFCC, I believe it's modeled after the Serious Fraud Serious Fraud Office in the UK. And we have the National Crime Agency, which are two bodies fighting crime. One is fighting crime, the other one fights economic and financial crime, so which are split out. But when you look at EFCC, to the best of my knowledge, it seems to be carrying more than it can chew, which I feel, because it says economic financial crime commission. Now, when a commission goes out to fight, arrest people for spraying currency, I believe that should have been handled by the police, not EFCC. That's one of the things I would have loved for us to. There should be a clear-cut demarcation between the two. Now, in terms of the workings of the EFCC, one thing I've come to notice about the EFCC is this. EFCC tends to talk so much and little is seen. When, like I know you're in the UK, I'm sure you're aware of the Serious Fraud Office. You hardly see them. You don't hear about them, but they're working. It's only when they have the convictions and all that, cases and all that. But because of the fact that we rush, we spend EFCC tends to be more in the news than achieving success. And the average Nigerian, especially the common man, everybody wants, okay, these big fish, politically exposed people how come EFCC is not being able to prosecute the cases successfully? When you look at the breakdown of their cases that they've won, you don't see them achieving much in terms of politically exposed people. What you have is petty, 419. That is an achievement, so to say, but the big ones are not really, cases are not won. But when they are arrested, the whole world hears. And this is it's sort of a big concern, what they're doing, what are they doing to arrest this? And moreover, when this new chairman came on board, I was quite happy because I felt, well, this is a lawyer, his modus operandi will be different. There will be some finesse in his operations and all that stuff. But somebody in that position is not supposed to be seen to fraternizing with suspects or alleged corrupt people. Well, he has, when you make promises that you cannot keep, for that if it's going to be the last thing you do, you're going to prosecute this. No, you don't need that. And these are one of the things which is creating like, this man made this promise, he called a press conference, and the case of, I believe that's a Mr. I don't want to start mentioning the names of individuals here. Maybe I don't want to indict him, but I believe that a lot has to be done to change the perception of what the public has on EFCC in terms of their prosecution of cases. I would have loved the situation whereby we don't hear that they have arrested so. Even if we hear, it's not that they have to call and make a public show of it, just like the SFO does. They just walk and they get a conviction. That's what matters. So if we can get them to change the way they operate within the law anyway, that would be nice. And in terms of the ICPC, honestly speaking, I don't really know what the independent corrupt, what is it called now, does. What is their contribution have they been making to the fight against corruption in the public sector? Because I believe most of their cases involve those who are in public service, not the private sector, so to say. So that's just my concern. But my concern more is on EFCC, so to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so very much for that contribution. But I think being an ambassador of EFCC, I can guarantee you that the issue that you raised about EFCC, I will personally deliver that to the chairman. I can give you my guarantee for that. However, I beg to differ a little bit regarding lack of prosecution that you alluded to, because while you were saying that, I remembered there was these two ex-governors that was jailed by the EFCC. They went to, I think they were just recently pardoned, maybe about a year ago or so. These are high-profile politicians who were arrested for certain infractions, and they were prosecuted. And there's been a lot of prosecutions. I think where the EFCC perhaps needs to do more is to ensure that most of these prosecutions are given enough publicity, because maybe the reason why some people don't know about them is because they are not being as publicized as at when they were being arrested. So that is the reason for that. But as far as prosecution is concerned, I can tell you for free that EFCC has prosecuted thousands and thousands of high-profile cases. Well, there are a few of them who are still pending, but then you have to understand that the machine of law runs very, very slowly. It's a global thing, because in law you have to give even the accused his right, whether you like it or not. Until he's found to be guilty, he's presumed to be innocent. So these are some of the things that plays out sometimes, which perhaps people out there don't seem to understand or to get the grasp of. That makes them to think, oh, they'll just make a show of shame of these guys, and after 2 days we don't hear about them. No, that's not the case. The thing is, when you arrest someone and the EFCC has certain a window of when they can hold that person. After that, it is either they take that person to court or they release them. Even when they take it to court, as soon as they go to court, it's out of the EFCC's hand. All they're just doing is prosecuting now. It is now in the hand of the courts now to either continue to hold that person or to give the EFCC the power to continue to hold them or to grant them bail. So this is the way the law works. So I just thought I should put that out there so that people's perception about the fact that EFCC only makes noise when they arrest these guys and nothing happens after that, so that we'll have a change of mind that is not the way it works. Yes, of course, when these things have been done, they need to inform the public that this is what we are doing. But then at the end of the day, because the machine of law of justice grinds very, very slowly, it takes time for some of these things to go from arrest to prosecution and to the rest of it. So that is just the reason for that. So thank you again for that submission. It's like I said, I promise you I'll send your question to and your submission to the EFCC. Thank you so very much. Now we've got Honorable Felix Ajayi. Honorable Felix Ajayi, you have the floor now. You've got 2 minutes too. Can we please unmute Honorable Felix Ajayi, please? While Honorable Kehinde Kolawole should be on standby. Honorable Felix Ajayi, you have the floor now. Can we please unmute Honorable Felix Ajayi, please? Okay, if he's not ready, because he still hasn't been unmuted, can we go to Honorable Kehinde Kolawole, please? Kehinde Kolawole, are you there?
I'm here, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm talking from New York.
Thank you very much, sir.
And I want to appreciate you for setting up this kind of forum and for recognizing those of us in the diaspora.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we want the recognition given to Nigerians in diaspora to be holistic. Corruption starts from me. Corruption starts from you. I worked in Nigerian local government, in Abeokuta North local government for 17.5 years. And I can tell you what corruption is. I will not tell you I'm a saint, but I tried my best. When I was not union chairman, I did all I could. But corruption has reached a level that it has become our culture.
Yeah.
That we no longer see anything wrong in it.
It's become the norm. Yeah.
A norm. I'm happy. I did not give in for corruption. While in Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, I fought all my lecturers. I have letters sent to anyone those days in that time. I was failed. I never surrender.
Wow.
I'm doing my PhD now. I'm going to write a full book about it. Textbook. About many lecturers were placed on suspension. So, and we in diaspora, we contribute to it as well. Nobody can insulate his or herself from corruption in Nigeria. By getting to the airport, waiting you bring come is corruption when you give them something. I don't give it. Police are arrested.
So permit me to interject, please. So which means the giver and the taker.
Yes. They are all culprits. I don't give it. When I was in Nigeria, I was doing Okada. They will ask for police have arrested me several times, give them something. I prefer to be locked up, and I tell them those that my owner will come and take me from the police station. I was in Nigeria last year. The man that drove me did not have his driver license, which I never knew. And I told the FRC man, I said, we are guilty. Give us the ticket. Let us go and pay. The man was surprised. I said, I live in the US. If you drive without driver license, you don't have anything to say, they will ticket you.
Yeah.
So we are all part of the system. When you get to the airport, you don't have to give anybody anything. I don't do it. And that is why I appreciate this way. My advice is this, sir. What the government can do is, on corruption, we must not have it in mind that we can eradicate corruption. Corruption is everywhere in the whole world. In America here, there are many corruptions that are legalized. The system in America allows you to do whatever you want to do. But there's one thing, the rule of law. Whoever that is caught, you are a gunner. In America, if you allow this rule of law to reign supreme, that everybody, irrespective of that person, under the law is good, it will reduce an aggressive campaign like the slogan, see something, say something. And there must be a measure to protect whoever see corruption, an act of corruption, and say it out. And another one that I want to state here is, please, sir, God will give you the wisdom to do it. How are you going to protect we Nigerians in diaspora that always love to come home to Nigeria? Like me, I have a lot of social, I'm a village boy, I go back to my village. And I have my social responsibility that I'm performing to my people. I can't forget Nigeria, I can't forget my village. I visit every year. An incident, we need protection from the Nigerian government, from the Nigerian people, because the way we are being treated, it is only Nigeria, from experience, that treat Nigerians in diasporas as japa, as trash. They don't see us as people that have something to contribute, and we contribute a lot. Somebody was invited by Lateef. It happened recently. I'm the president, Egbe Omo Yoruba. That is the case we are that at our disposal that we are handling now. This man is an important personality promoting the culture of Yoruba people and Nigeria. A peaceful man. He was invited to the palace of Lateef, the new Lateef, on the April 17th. And issue of explanation happened concerning they call the people. Some people here identify with Yoruba people in Nigeria. They laugh like, sir, if you are in New York, you need to see how these people love our culture here, our music.
Somebody has his background noise, please. Can you please mute, please, for the time being? For the time being. Okay. It looks like the time is up for that honorable. I think your submission is quite on point. It has been noted, and it will be passed on to our special guest as soon as he joins us. So let me move. So it looks like Honorable Felix Ajayi is now ready for us. So Honorable Felix Ajayi, you have the floor now, sir. Honorable Felix Ajayi, are you still there? Looks like we've lost him again. Okay. Shall we go to Honorable Johnson Olorode?
Hello, Honorable Adebola. Honorable Adebola, you mute yourself. Hello, sir.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, sorry about that.
You mute yourself. Can I talk, sir?
Can you hear me now? Can you all hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so very much for pointing that out. Yes, you have the floor now, Honorable Felix Ajayi. You have the floor now. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. Where's my video? I can't see myself. Can you put my video on?
Okay. Yeah. We can see you now.
My United. We are united. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a good one, sir. Please. I have worked in the local government as a supervisor for environment for 4 years. Have served the party as a member of strategy and planning and campaign committee and several others. Sir, there is so much. I call the civil servants in the local government as evil servants. Baba, what they do, the internal generated income, they go to shops and collect money and they don't remit to the council. and there was a way we blocked them. So please, there's so much corruption in the local government. And the 774 local government that we have, they are going to have direct allocation. Please, we have to have one EFCC in 774 local government, because this our chairman and our local government are not paying dividend of democracy to the grassroots. I served there 4 years, and I fight them every day. Every Thursday, they are supposed to be environmental sanitation as a supervisor for environment. This wole, this environmental, they go to lock people's shop. And what do? They want to raise money for their pocket. They go to generate income for the local government. They have 2 invoices, one for their personal. There's so much corruption. So please, Honorable Adebola, after this program, send my number to the Attorney General. Please, I need to work with our local government. If I have my way, we will cancel local government, because that is where corruption. If local government can deliver to the Nigerian people, believe me, Nigeria will be dancing. They will not be calling Ashwaju. Corruption is bad. It's bad, and I know it. I've been there. So I don't know how many people on a platform that I serve as a local commissioner in my local government. Now for them, the civil servant and the people there, corruption. So please tell. I don't know. Our honorable minister is there. He cannot do much, but he need to work with people like us who have worked the local government, who have seen the corruption, who have seen it 4 years. It's very unfortunate. The amount of corruption and the level of education, and the more can be delivered. After 4 years, I got fed up. I said, no, I can't have it anymore. But please, we have an opportunity with this renewed hope agenda, more can be done. Please, this program, I will please send my details to the minister. I need to work with him, and there's a lot that we can do and we can achieve. And I want to thank you, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so very much. And I like the fact that you hone in on the local government there, because, like they say, politics is local. And I think it is that realization that made the president to go to the Supreme Court to get an order to give the local government autonomy, financial autonomy. With that in mind now, I think the idea behind the president's decision was to ensure that the grassroots benefits from the benefit of democracy. So that was why he went to court and got that, even though there's been some kind of skirmishes between them and the governors now. But I'm sure that with the order that has been obtained from the Supreme Court, that will give them the required autonomy that they need for them to be able to take the dividend of democracy to the grassroots, because that is the reason why everything that is being done from the center is not trickling down, because in between there's been some kind of issues between them and the governors. I hope with what you just said now, we will be passing your details and your submission to the minister, and I'm sure he will be able to look into it and see areas that he can ensure that the corruption that we all agree that has been endemic in the country will be dealt with and brought to the barest minimum. Thank you so very much for your submission. That is quite interesting and informative. Thank you so much. So let's go now to Honorable Johnson Olorode. Honorable Johnson Olorode, you have the floor now. Honorable Johnson Olorode, are you still there? Honorable Johnson Olorode, you've been unmuted, and you have the floor now. Okay, it looks like we've lost him. Can we then quickly go to? We have another Felix here. I hope it's not the same Felix Ajayi. Honorable Felix, you have the floor now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Yes, sir.
My name is Chief Moloku from New Jersey.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Well, I think everybody is speaking basically on the same issue, but in my own view, perception is a powerful ingredient in shaping mindset.
Yeah.
When we have this perception that corruption is endemic, the question is, the perception is there. What do we do? I think one of the things that we need to do is to establish some type of working machinery. One, send back the arrow to the judiciary. One arrow to the judiciary, one arrow to the public, and one arrow to the government. Why do I say this? If the law permits us to do our job, and we are unable to do our job, we have to find out why. And if the criminal is walking the streets, we have to find out why. Because the public already perceive that corruption is endemic. If you ask any Nigerian today, does a rich man go to jail? Does a politician go to jail? A powerful politician go to jail? The answer will be no. And why is that? A grandma that a young child brings something, a stolen good from, to, and the grandma could not tell the young chap or ask the young chap, where did you get this? It's a problem. Why? Because the grandma knows that the rich themselves don't go to jail. So why do I say the judiciary? The judiciary should make it clear that a rich man can go to jail and a poor man can go to jail at the same time. When this happens, when we see it, when we believe it, things will automatically change. Every head of department is responsible for what goes on below. So if I'm heading a department and something happens in my department and I'm not held responsible, well, it's bound to happen again. So there is something I'm seeing and there is something I'm not doing that I ought to be doing in my department. I am the head. The buck stops at my department as a head. Anything that I do, anything that happens within my department, I am responsible. I went to buy a money order in the post office and I was told I bought a money order, but when I went to cash it, there was no cash. And who is responsible? Who is the leader of that department? These are the problems. So if the judiciary cannot prosecute effectively in a country in their need of their service, then maybe they are the problem. If the police has a boss and the police is caught and the boss cannot answer the question why the person he vouched for, the person that is under him or her is doing this. I think anytime a policeman is caught, we should be able to identify his boss also. So that the boss can be responsible for what his boss is subject is doing. If in my office I'm responsible for everything, why am I not involved in the prosecution? I should be ashamed because it is my boy that is, or my girl, whoever that is, under me. I think we should change that mindset. Anytime somebody is caught doing something wrong, who is the boss? Let's take him to the boss, and let the boss explain. Let the boss tell us what he knows about the individual, so that they can be shamed at the same time. There was a time in the 80s, everybody was standing in line. Everybody was afraid of somebody. Who is that person? Idiagbo. Does he have two heads? No. He was enforcing the law. Let us enforce the law generally, and things will change. The mindset will change. Until we change the mindset, and who is to change the mindset? The leadership. When you talk about leadership, I'm not talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No, I'm talking about people under him, people he has entrusted. Why must everything be him? He entrusted leadership unto us. Let us, the leaders, be responsible for what happens underneath our belt. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Thank you very much, Chief Adebola.
Thank you so much for that submission. When you were talking about throwing an arrow at people, I was thinking, what? But when you started explaining, I think I know why you said that.
Yes.
But then again, why not? Whilst not trying, I'm not trying to absolve the judiciary here, because I believe they too have their problems too. But then we have to understand that in most cases, the judges will decide on facts that are before the court. So sometimes when we feel that justice has not been done in a case, I think we should look at both ends, both the prosecuting part of it and the judiciary, because in most cases it may not be the judiciary that's at fault. Could be that the prosecutors themselves did not do their due diligence in prosecuting the case, and that's because the judges cannot manufacture justice. They have to deal with what is on there. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not absolving them of anything, and I'm not speaking for them. But I'm just trying to be a bit, play the devil's advocate here to see if there is a way we can both. Because, like I said, fighting corruption is the work of every single one of us. And I think somebody else said earlier that fighting corruption starts with me. Fighting corruption starts with you. So I think for me, that's the starting point for all of us. So the mirror should be beamed at both sides of the spectrum, both the prosecuting party and the judiciary, if we feel that justice has not been done on anything. So it is when we do that we'll be able to know exactly where to shoot that arrow that you're talking about. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate because you brought a different angle to the discussion. Thank you so very much, sir. I really appreciate that. Now, the first female in the house, Hajia Airat Animashaw Ajiboye. You have the floor now, Hajia. I think she's from the USA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Barrister, thank you so much and great work. I want to commend all the previous speakers, and including Chief Felix Mooloko that just spoke last. Prince Lateef Olasunkanmi, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I know he's not here, but he's here. And we want to appreciate his positivity in wanting to participate in this program, Renewed Hope event. I want to start by saying that we have all said it, corruption affects all the facets of development. And I want to say that President Tinubu and his team, they have tried their best to correct some wrongs. They are doubling and tripling, like the Imo State governor said recently, revenues for the states. That is huge in helping combat some corruption and helping development, right? And then they're changing the education landscape. I saw some of the recent news about the new way that kids are going to be doing their SSC exams, so that they would not corrupt the exams, if you know what I mean. But having said that, I want to say that it's critical that our honorable minister continues to promote ethics, standards, and processes, right? And then I have a question here, which is something that is dear to my heart. What system do you have in place to celebrate people, especially civil servants, who were incorruptible and who saved money for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, no matter whose ox were gored? I have a personal example.
Can you just please
Can I repeat
that
it?
question, because I'm writing it down? Yeah.
Okay, sir. I said that what systems do you have in place to celebrate people, especially civil servants, who were incorruptible and who saved money for the federal government, no matter whose ox were gored? I have a personal example to share, but I'm not going to share it on this platform. You're going to have to call me back later so that we can have that conversation.
Okay.
And I'm willing to share that with the honorable minister too. But I'm saying that recognizing such individuals, especially those that are even old and frail, will boost the morale of other civil servants to do right, to do good, knowing that government will appreciate them and the people will see that there's some good in being incorruptible. So that is why I asked that question, and that we can promote ethical standards. So the other thing I want to say is government cannot do it all. Non-profits, we have a lot of non-profits in Nigeria. Let us get them consciously involved in imbibing good, basic, ethical values in our children. You know, from all the lungos, the man that talked about his village, the one that talked about local government, let us go get them to go in there and start preaching non-corruption. And then we all know that poverty is one of the banes that befalls. That is the problem that we have, that people use as excuses to do what they do. But the point is that the government and the people, let us all, rural and urban areas, let us see how we can reduce poverty, encourage and motivate, and see how standards of living can be better, and it can also help. It will also help corruption. And going on the EFCC, to the EFCC matter, I want to ask, because I also have a personal experience with them when I worked in Abuja. What structure do they have to protect or prevent the staff of EFCC from becoming corruptible themselves in the process of solving corrupt cases? I think that is a little bit tongue waggling. They want to fight corruption. Somebody came to give a report that if something is happening here, I'd like you to please look at it. But then the other party that has more power or more resources, how do we ensure that they don't influence our work, our civil servants that are EFCC staff, into subverting in favor of the stronger person? So, Honorable Minister should please make sure that we have transparent processes in place to safeguard and protect them and give them more integrity. And my last submission is this, Honorable Barrister, Ambassador.
Yeah.
We need more jails. We need more jails. I say this to say that when we have this and people know that if you do wrong, you pay a penalty of 1 month in jail, 2 weeks in jail, 1 week in jail, people will probably start rethinking that, you know what, these guys are serious, so I should try to do right by myself, right by my family, and right by my community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, especially for the last bit where you were talking about repercussions for actions. I think sometimes that is what is missing in our society, that feeds into this corrupt mindset of people, because they know that certain people feel whatever they do, there will be no consequences. But if there's a rule of law, and that rule of law is predicated upon um, consequences on every action that that one takes, I think many people would think twice before they do certain things that they do. I was just alluding to a personal experience that I had of somebody who I feel should know better, somebody who studied law, who should know better, and was doing something that was completely against the constitution of the country. We pointed it out to him, but because he felt he could get away with anything, he said he's going to do it anyway, and he went ahead and did it. This is the kind of corruption that we're talking about. Perhaps if that person knew at the time that there was going to be repercussions for his actions, even though he was feigning ignorance at the beginning until we pointed out to him, even after we pointed out to him and he went ahead and did it, if he knew at the time that there would be repercussions for his actions, I'm sure he would think twice before doing it. So I think it is in this light that I quite agree with you that the rule of law must be such that it is so strong and there for everybody to see that and feel it every now and then, that for every action that you take, there will be repercussion for it. And I think most people, well, talking about jail, maybe that we should, could be part of the repercussions for the actions, because people know that they can easily be jailed no matter their status in the society. They will think twice because nobody wants to spend an hour or maybe a day in jail. So thank you so very much, Ma, for that, because you two brought another dimension to the discussion, and thank you so very much. Your questions are noted, and it will be passed to our special guest as soon as he joins, and I'm sure he'll probably do that any time from now before we close for tonight. So we've got more hands up. We've got okay, Johnson Olorode is back now. Johnson Olorode, you have the floor now. Can we please unmute him, please?
Hello?
Hello, yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, okay. I was online then, but I just didn't know how this tech works and where you unmute yourself.
So,
yes, I have listened to what people have said, and I think people knowing that there are consequences for every action is very, very important. And that is what we have experienced, and that is what people need to know, that if you do any wrong, there will be consequences. And that is what is emboldened a lot of our, for example, local government that people have talked about. There is so much corruption in that place. EFCC, ICPC will rely on court workers, magistrate workers, high court workers, Supreme Court workers to deliver this justice.
yes.
These guys, a lot of them are extremely corrupt. Yeah, I will tell you one of my own personal experience. There was a case that happened in Ibadan. My father-in-law was murdered. The guy was arrested. He was paraded by the commissioner of police. There were items seized as exhibits. There were confessions from him that it was because my father-in-law wanted to attack him. So he took action first. He hit his head on the wall and he died. That is his own admission. Now, what happened at the court, instead of putting the case where it should go, they put the case in the magistrate court. At the end of the day, they said somebody came for his is a bail, or what do you do when you for him to be on a bail? without us knowing, without anybody knowing, and he was bailed. While he was on bail, he was not seen anymore. When we ask questions, who was the person that got the bail of this guy? They said the person submitted fake documents. So the person that got the bail could not be traced, or the person and the person who, who stands surety for him could not be traced because they were all fake documents. When we tried to do this, we were threatened. Everybody were threatened, even by the court workers, and that is how someone that should be in prison is roaming about the streets of Ibadan now, as we speak. So, in my own family, I'm the only one that still believes in the rule of law. Nobody believes in the rule of law because they believe that from the bottom right to the top, the system is corrupt and you can never get justice.
Wow.
So, perception matters a lot. They always make mock us. Forget about you APC man. What have you got out? Or Renewed Hope. What have you got out? Everybody is the same. Every administration is the same. Those are the things. And people have a perception that nothing has changed. Maybe when people see there are consequences, maybe when people that are at the bottom knows, because these are the people that EFCC, ICPC will rely on protecting witness identity. They will be relying on them in protecting witnesses. They will be relying on them to protect and preserve exhibits. So if these guys are so corrupt and they know that nothing is going to happen, then these guys, ICPC, EFCC will never be able to do their work because they would have corrupted everything right from the bottom, and they will have told them, yeah, we've got everything, or they will just corrupt everything and frustrate the process. And that is why people that are powerful, like the last speaker said, or stronger in a case, or knows people in a case, get away with nothing. They just escape being prosecuted because the people who are supposed to protect and support the work of EFCC have messed up the case for them. So, and that is the problem we are having now. Just like the local government, it is everywhere in all this judiciary. People need to have, consequences needs to happen. Once you know that if I do this, I am going to be suspended, without a pay until the case is investigated, and I might end up in jail. People will sit up. We need to see that people, and for example, like Mr. Felix said, someone somewhere needs to ensure that their supervisors get involved and they are prosecuted as well, because they cannot do that job or that shady deals in isolation. Consequences is very important. We have people that should be in jail, like that, my own personal experience, who are killers, murderers, people who are corrupt, that are still on the street, walking about. People like us are not safe because he knows we are against what he has done and we are fighting it. So that is my own submission. I personally believe that institution needs to be strong enough to ensure that they are well equipped, maybe through technology or anything, to make sure that witnesses are protected, exhibits are protected, not messed with, and as well identity of, and the people who are at who will be relying upon to eradicate these corrupt practices, do their job, and they support the FCC in the job they should be doing. God bless Nigeria.
Oh, thank you so very much for that submission, sir. I think it's clear that we all agree now that there has to be consequences for actions, because once that is missing, then the fight against corruption will become an uphill task, because you see, people will just do as they like, because they know that at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. But
Yes.
once everybody knows that, if you don't want to do the time, then don't do the crime, because if you do the crime, you will have to do the time. then people will think twice before before they do things. Thank you so very much, because I think this discussion today, despite the fact that our special guest is not here, is taking on a very, very serious dimension that that gladdens my heart, which means most Nigerians are clued up regarding the bane of our society, which is corruption. And I think the feeling I'm getting now is that everybody's fed up with it. We just want it rid of. And I think it's like we said earlier on, the job starts with every single one of us. We all have to fight it collectively. It's not just the government matter. It's not just the EFCC matter. It's not just the ICPC matter. You and I have a job to do. As like somebody was talking earlier on, when you're talking about somebody, the giver and the taker, that they are both as they are both guilty. You see, if there is no buyer, there will be no thievery. I'm not sure if I'm right with that English. if thief no get market, you no go thief. You get the point? So if a corrupt civil servant will desist from the act of corruption if there's nobody to give. I remember many years ago when I was going to Nigeria and I was at the airport, and there was this young Hausa immigration guy who, he was doing his job quite literally checking all my stuff and all that. But sometimes they went OTT with it, and I just stood there. I stood at keyboard. I was looking at him. So when he finished, now he now spoke to me in Hausa, because I greeted him in Hausa. He now spoke to me in Hausa, asking me what I bring for him, and I asked him. I said, that is what you should have asked me before you started searching all my luggage. You saw my luggage. Now you've done your job. I'm leaving. I haven't got anything for you. So I think in a situation like that, you see, when the giver refuses to give, then there will be no taker anymore. With time it will begin to diminish. So that's why I said the fight against corruption is the fight of every single one of us. We cannot just leave it to the ICPC, the EFCC, or the government alone, because even this EFCC and ICPC that we are talking about, unless we feed them with information, they will not even know what is going on. They will just be there, sitting in their office, not knowing exactly what is going on. But until people like you and me whistle blow on the evildoers within our midst, that is when they'll be able to take action. So thank you so very much, sir, for that submission. We still got more people here. So, and we've got about four hands up. So I'll quickly rush them, starting with Engineer A.A. Ashiru. Engineer A.A. Ashiru, you have the floor now. Can we please unmute Engineer A.A. Ashiru, please? Hello, Engineer A.A. Ashiru, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Engineer Ayowale Ashiru.
Okay.
So I'm a civil servant. So I work with Nigerian Postal Service. My own submission is about the RPI.
Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Lagos.
Lagos, okay.
I'm calling from Lagos. Yeah. So my own submission is about the IPPIs, and then the corruption in the civil service also. So about the IPPIs, like my own kind of submission is on the issue of when we normally have the promotion, and then the IPPIs normally have that bias of, okay, it's only those who come and rub their hand before they effect the kind of the normal promotion on the.
When you say IPPI, what does that mean? What does that mean, IPPI?
That's the integrated personal payroll.
Okay.
Integrated personal payroll. And this has been a recurrent, things with the IPPIs. And, staff normally complain about this because we believe that, okay, the moment you have a promotion, then everything should be effected. Everybody, you don't have to know anybody in that department before they do it. And since you are being promoted, so you don't have to know anybody before they okay, effect your new rank. But what normally happens there is okay, some people will call someone there, you pay money, they do your own first. So the others, they might not do others, you know, it could take 1 or 2 years or more than that before they will effect the new rank of other person. So, and that corruption is, you know, just going on like that unabated, and then nobody is, you know, kind of curbing them. So I'm just bringing this. Hello. So I'm just bringing this to the notice of this honorable house, so that at least the presidency, everybody could know about this, that okay, the corruption in the civil service system, and then how we can curb that as well. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so very much, Ejina Ashiru. You said something here now that I wouldn't want us to brush over. Can you please just put something on paper and put it in our email address with your details so that we can pass it on? Yeah, exactly what you think is going on there that you see that is wrong. Please let us have it so that we can then pass it on to the honorable minister or whichever agency that we think is appropriate, you know, to deal with it. We will do that. Please, our email address is on the chat room. Please go there and send us something in written, please. Please, thank you.
All right, sir.
That was interesting too, and let me go quickly to K. Alabi. K. Alabi, you have the floor now. Can we please unmute K. Alabi, please? K. Alabi, you may need to unmute yourself as well. If we unmute you, then you will have to unmute yourself as well. K. Alabi, are you still there? Okay, let me just move on. Let me move on to Bola Gas Galaxy. Bola Gas Galaxy, you have the floor.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
My name is Bola Gatija. I'm a retired Army officer, and when we are talking about corruption, I think it go beyond pedestrian level. And I remember President Goodluck Jonathan talk about stealing and corruption. I was trying to make a distinction between stealing and corruption. But while I was in the army, I did not see corruption as a serious thing because, you know, almost everything involved in there. But leaving the army today, and I see that every office that you go to, little thing that you want to collect, somebody thinks that something's supposed to come out from you. Even in the process of somebody doing his own job. I think the issue of corruption in Nigeria need to be taught and at a pedestrian level. I mean, from primary to secondary school. Because even the children in the school today, the level of corruption in which they involve themselves is unbelievable. And at the highest level, you discover that there are no consequences for all these corrupt practices, if we are going to tell ourselves the truth. I remember in my first year in law class, the first thing we were taught is about why people obey law.
Yeah.
And I remember a majority of us then agreed that people obey law for fear of sanction. And where there's no sanction law, because people have been corrupted, in fact, in the past, that you now think corruption is just a new normal now. Because those are the people that you see that driving plastic cars, because they are not punished. That is just the problem. They are not punished. And those who are not corrupt, like a retired person that is not corrupt, you see him as if he's starting afresh. Sending signal to people around him that corruption is good. And those ones that are not corrupt, they are being seen from the side as if they don't know what they are doing. So the fight for corruption must be taken seriously, right from the grassroots. And we must make sure that the mechanism must be put in place to be sure that those corrupt people are seriously punished. But paying lip services to issue of corruption, honestly, we will talk from here to what are the mechanisms to put in place to make sure that those corrupt people are being seriously punished, to that as deterrent to others who might want to do similar things. That is just my submission. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Bolaga, for that submission. I think you two touched on a very serious issue, which has to do with teaching our children right from infancy about the about corruption. I think it's a food for thought that should be considered by the powers that be. There's this phrase when I was younger that catch them young. When you start to train a child on certain ethics and certain things that are expected and not expected of them, I think they will latch on to it, and that will stay with them for life. So I think you have a point there that perhaps we should start to begin to think of putting it into our school curriculum now. I'm not sure what they're going to call it, maybe nationality or patriotism or whatever it is. So just give it a name, but make it a strong subject that should be taught right from primary school, so that our children will begin to grow with that kind of mindset. Because we spoke about mindset earlier as the root cause of corruption in the country. So, which means if we're going to deal with it, we have to go to the roots. So, going to the root means let's start with our children for now. If they are rooted in that nationalism, I'm sure by the time they grow up, the issue of corruption will not creep into their system. Even if it does, it will be easy for them to be able to to fob it off, because it's not part of their system from the beginning. So thank you so very much for that submission as well. Let me quickly rush to Venerable Gabriel. We have a man of God in the house today. Hallelujah. Thank you, sir. You have the floor now, sir. Venerable Gabriel. You have the floor now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my chairman. Thank you so much. My name is Venerable Gabriel Shodende. I always join from time to time.
I know.
So,
Thank you.
I do appreciate the issue we are talking about. The issue I may want to talk about, I'm not sure if anybody has mentioned it previous, because I joined a bit late.
Okay.
But I just want to say that most things I've been hearing about this corruption as just cosmetic. I feel until we get to a place where unexplainable wealth are being queried, then we are not going anywhere. Because it is that is what we cure it. It's not about okay, you want to report the police who is hungry, who was a police sergeant who is building a mansion. You are not querying where that is coming from. A civil servant level 17 who is building shopping complex. We are not querying it. And I think, of course, some of us are in the Western world, and we know that when you go into corruption, you begin to, even this money will be hidden in terms of physical cash. You can't take it to the bank, because immediately it gets into your bank account, it flags. We also have our banks who are complicit, people without any genuine thing. We have a law. I want to believe that the law that when there's some large deposit, it should be flagged to the CBN and whatever. But yes, then how many large sums have been deposited that have been flagged? So maybe is the area where we begin to look. Let the the anti-corruption agencies begin to, because they have the power, assess the bank details of each and every civil servant, and begin to say why do you have this? I know, of course, they can hide it with anybody, but if there are any large sum, get those accounts. What business are you doing? And because there is no consequences for all this, nobody is asking questions. And that is why it's easy for these things to pass through. I mean, I can easily want to take bribe and ask somebody else pay the money into so person's account, because nobody's going to ask question. If we begin to do that, if you have anything, you must be able to account for where that money is coming from. You will see that nobody will begin to take money in. Everybody will begin to run away from it. And that is what I feel where we should go to the root of it. When that thing that shields people, when they have unexplainable wealth. Yeah, I know people talk about Yahoo, they talk about money ritual and whatever. Even if it's money ritual, go and tell people that you have done money ritual. But then, because if a money comes to your account and the bank has been penalized that you receive, say for example, 50 million into an account and you did not flag it to the agencies. I know, yeah, human being are there. Of course, they may want to compromise, but then not all of them will compromise. We still see some people that are going to do what the right thing is. And let us set a benchmark. Anything above this level, you must be able to explain where that money is coming from. It's either people begin to keep money in their houses, and of course, they won't be able to do a lot of things they are doing. And I think that is where we should begin to go. Thank you so much. Before I go, because I used to work in the banking industry. I started in the banking industry way back in 1976. So I know what goes on there before I left the banking industry, when the era of the collapse of the banking industry during the Babangida regime, and then which made me to migrate to the United Kingdom. But what I'm saying is, a lot of things happen. Okay, let us look at our bank. Where do all our bank MDs, how do they become billionaires overnight? Where is that coming from?
Yeah.
It's because they were laundering all this money for people.
Yeah.
And because we are not asking questions. Yeah, this person, is a bank MD and is doing charity work, is doing a lot of things. We begin to sing their praises. Why don't we ask? In the United Kingdom, where is the bank MD that begins to throw money out the way our own bank MDs are doing? And nobody's asking questions. If we truly want to fight corruption, we need to begin to ask the source of unexplainable wealth. That is just my contribution. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I think you did something again there that you took me back down memory lane now, because you were talking about the loss of value system in the society, which is very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. I think that is where we started to get into it, because I remember when I was in primary school, you dare not come home with a pencil or a pen that was not given to you by your parents. They would ask you, where did you get it from? You know? And as soon as you cannot explain that, you are in trouble, because they will march you to school the following day and ask the teacher, well, tell the teacher what you did, and you'll be flogged in front of the class there. You see, that was when we had value system within the society, and everybody conformed to it. But when we started losing that, I think that was the beginning of the decay that we see today now. So I hope by dint of I don't know, maybe magic or God's wisdom, we will be able to go back to that era where and because we know we everybody knows each other within your little locality. Somebody who's been a carpenter for 20 years, suddenly you just see him, he just went and bought a Rolls Royce. Of course, that should flag something in your head that, hey, unless he won a lottery, and if he won a lottery, at least the whole world would have known about it. But if he hasn't done that, and he's flashing his wealth around, and but then because the society themselves tends to embrace such I'm struggling to find the right word for that now, such anomaly, it encourages more people to indulge in it more, because they know fully well that nobody's going to ask questions. So I guess you are right there, sir. If only we can go back to basics and begin to ask vital questions when we suddenly see someone with an unexplainable wealth. I think that will go a long way in beginning to tackle the corruption that we're talking about today. Thank you so very much, sir, and God bless you. And I think we have Versatile K from Canada. Versatile K from Canada. You have the floor now, sir. Let's unmute Versatile K from Canada, please.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm K Alabi from Canada. Sorry, when you called earlier, I missed it. So thank you for giving me a second opportunity. I want to align with most of the speakers, everything we have said about corruption. And aside from the law enforcement aspect, building more jails and all that, I don't agree too much with that, because jailhouses, as we have seen, may not be able to solve most of the problems we are having in Nigeria. Because even when, I remember during the first reign of Baba Buhari, when there was a public execution at the Bar Beach, I was there to watch it. That has not stopped armed robbery in Nigeria and for all that. I'm looking at corruption, not from the law enforcement aspect of it. A friend once called Nigeria, sorry, we have a pastor online. One has called Nigeria Sodom and Gomorrah of the world right now. Hardly can you find two people who are honest, who are straightforward. So when you are talking of Sodom and Gomorrah, you see a situation where there is a lot of serious decay in the society. I want to appeal to the president, maybe to this administration. Maybe we need a task force on corruption. It goes beyond jails. It goes beyond the police. It goes beyond the judges. We need a lot of change mindset of what is happening in Nigeria. I've seen a friend who say someone in the ministry has voted that every weekend he has to bring home like 40,000 or 100,000 naira, when his monthly pay is just like 30,000. Used to be 30,000 naira, now 70,000. But every weekend he has to bring in at least 100 to 200,000. It's like he's in the market selling something. If he doesn't make enough money, it's a sort of disappointment. And when someone gets into public office, maybe it used to be there, everybody wants a contract. Everybody wants something to be done. The society is pushing that person. Even someone in the legislature who doesn't have any vote except to be one of the 53 or one of the 100. People still expect a lot of things from him. He has to buy a new Lamborghini, buy a Mercedes and everything. So the society is really pushing. Yeah. And that is the bane. It is not about hunger alone. It is not, a lot of people who are not hungry still want to do more. They want to buy Porsche for their girlfriends. They want to travel. They want to do all that. I'm in Canada, it doesn't happen. Like the pastor has said about UK, you need to be able to explain your source of wealth and all those things. But the mindset is there for Nigerian. Every public official comes from within a Nigerian state. Yes. It's not like you manufacture someone, maybe IT, you manufacture someone, AI, you bring someone to Nigeria. It's this same set of people. If you are not in the position to do it, you call it corruption. If you are right there, it is something special, delicacy. Now for our APC, renewed hope. People say the fear of EFCC is to join, is the wisdom in staving corruption cases is to join APC. Now, whatever it is, whatever sin, whatever crime you commit, just join APC today. APC is away from you. So now we need a good mindset. I have a family member for now, who is a tenant to a senior lawyer in Banana Island. The guy, the landlord, wanted to raise rent. from like 14 million to about 56. Because the young man says no, he resisted, the lawyer, the senior lawyer, who is a practicing lawyer in the Supreme Court, locked up every property of this young man, kicked him out, locked the house for more than 1 month now. The lawyer went to the police. The guy's lawyer went to the police to report. The police has been inviting this senior lawyer for more than 1 month. He has refused. And the young man is still roaming around, no place to live. The properties, even his shirt that to wear is not there. And then all he can do is to send a message. The landlord will send a message to maybe the senior police officer, area commander. He doesn't have the time to even go. It doesn't happen in a country where I am. Corruption is so endemic in Nigeria that it goes beyond law enforcement. It goes beyond just what all we are saying, the cosmetic thing that our Holy Father mentioned about Nigeria. We need a change mindset. Why are we like this as a people? So that is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. I think this is the right the right place for us to draw the curtain tonight, because I've just been rightfully informed that Honorable Minister have sent in an apology, saying he's still hooked up in the meeting, but he has promised that he will give us a new date for him to appear. So he wants me to apologize to Nigerians across the world that if not for the fact that he's in a meeting, he was gearing himself up to be part of this this conference today. But be that as it may, he has promised us now that he will be back, and that he will come and discuss this matter more, especially on the side of what this government is doing to combat corruption. So watch out for our next e-flyer that's going to have him coming back to us to come and discuss with us. So, and first of all, I have to thank everybody that has participated today, both those who are silent and those who spoke. Those who spoke well. In fact, they came with so many dimensions to the topic of the day. And one of the major things that I deduce from what we've discussed today is that for us to successfully fight corruption, first of all, there has to be a paradigm shift in our mindset. In our mindset, right? Which means, and for that to happen, I think somebody suggested that it has to start right from primary school. Maybe they should be teaching nationalism. I think somebody sent me a text now, a message on the chat room now that it should be we can have it as part of civic study. We used to have it in the 1960s and 1970s. Yes, I remember too. I think that whoever removed that from our curriculum in school does not do us justice. So I think that should be brought back so that we can catch them young when we start to teach our children all these societal values. Because when we lost the societal value, that was when this corruption thing started to creep into the society, and it has become so endemic now. It's cancerous now, so to speak. It's cancerous now. So for us to uproot it, there has to be a major surgical operation now to be done to get it out of our system. And I think the right way to start is from our primary school, from our children. When we start to teach them from primary school about nationalism, about civic study, about civic duty, about values, our value system, I think that will go a long way in reshaping the society. It may not happen overnight, but progressively it will begin to happen. And before we know it, in our lifetime, we might see a Nigeria that is devoid of corruption, if not totally, but at least being reduced to the barest minimum. So thank you so very much, everybody, for being there for us today and for your contribution, especially because it shows that you all care about Nigeria, and that is why you all came up with all these suggestions. And for those who will be sending us emails or letters, or I can guarantee you, we will deliver those to the appropriate authorities. So on that note, thank you so very much. Let me call on the matron of the house to give us our closing remark. Hajia Rekia Bello Abubakar, you have the floor now, ma'am.
Thank you, Barrister JK, our chief host. Ladies and gentlemen, we draw the curtain. But before we go, I would like to say a big thank you in absentia to our Honorable Minister, who is unavoidably absent due to some official engagements. Thank you also to our participants who joined us from home and abroad. Please join us again next time for another exciting edition. On behalf of our Renewed Hope Global Hall Town Hall Conference, have a great weekend. God bless Nigeria. Thank you all.
Thank you so very much, Hadia, for that. And thank you to all our leaders. I can see Professor Labinjo from America, Hajia Kairat Adimashang. I can see Honorable Nick Akpata from Canada, Babanidi from South Africa, Ajimi Jere from Russia, High Chief Chris Onomonu from the UK. So many people to mention. Thank you so very much for always being there for us. And our Venerable Gabriel too. I see you because this is the first time you were talking on the program, but I know you've always been joining. So thank you so much for always being there. Your support is always welcome. Watch out, in the next couple of days, we will be bringing you the details of our next VVIP. Once the e-flies are, please help us share it as you always do, so that next week we'll be back here again talking on another big issue that concerns Nigerians globally. Thank you so very much. We draw the